In this lesson, Number Trains, you will identify all the factor pairs of some numbers, determine when you have found all the factor pairs for some numbers, and compare two numbers to see which one has more factor pairs. So what are factor pairs? A factor pair is made of two numbers, that's the meaning of the word pair, two, that multiply together to give you another number. For example, 7 and 5 are a factor pair for the number 35 because 7 times 5 equals 35 and 5 times 7 equals 35. Instead of thinking of it as 7 times 5 equals blank, we want to think which two numbers multiply to give me 35. An equation might look like this: 35 equals blank times blank. Factor pairs remind us of fact family triangles. Factor pairs can be thought of as forming two corners of a typical fact family triangle used to memorize multiplication facts. When we think of prime numbers, they only have one factor pair, the number 1 and itself. So in this case, it's 1 and 13. Composite numbers have more than one factor pair. For example, 10 has 1 and 10, but it also has 2 and 5. So remember, factor pairs are two numbers that multiply together to give another number. An equation might look like 35 equals blank times blank. Prime numbers only have one factor pair, 1 and itself. Composite numbers have more than one factor pair. In this task, Ms. Mendoza and Ms. Benitez are practicing how to make number trains, which are another way of writing factor pairs. Each number train has one lead number that is the product of the factor pairs behind it. For example, 24 equals blank times blank. What two numbers could we put in the yellow and the blue box to make that equation true? Well, we could put a 6 in the yellow box. Then what would be the number in the blue box? 4. And that's true because 6 times 4 equals 24. We can say that one factor pair of 24 is 6 and 4 because 6 times 4 equals 24. On the next two slides, you will identify factor pairs of different numbers. For example, here of 24 again, there are other factor pairs for the number 24. Then you will look at the number 18. And the question that asks you, how can you be sure that you have found all the factor pairs? And finally, you're going to compare the number 36 and the number 48 and see which one has the most factor pairs. Good luck.